And welcome to another episode of Nights at the Round Table. We are here in our festive gear, rocking Christmas sweaters.
Yep.
Be Real got one, the elf that says,
Santa, I know
him. And I'm wearing an elf one too, and it says, son of a nutcracker. Angela has on the Slay Bunquiqui sweater that's available on the website if you want to go, anjela.com. And then we got Buzz, your girlfriend. Woof.
Buzz,
a little Home Alone.
your girlfriend.
Action.
Woof.
A little action going on. If you don't know, this is the Christmas episode. And we're going to talk about Christmas, what it means to us, what it meant to us.
First of all, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Because this is actually dropping on Christmas. And if you want to see what we look like, please go to the YouTube channel. And I will put the link there, and you guys can see our pretty faces and our pretty sweaters.
You will not be disappointed.
Especially with Manny's beanie.
It is all good things that's happening right now. Hey, and spoiler alert, if you're listening with your kids, we're going to go into some story about Santa just at the beginning, a little Santa story at the beginning, and then maybe they could tune in around minute 10, but we'll see. The first thing we're going to talk about is...
Wait, what about our drink?
Well, I mean, it's. Do you know the tea? We're drinking tea.
Yes. I was very excited to talk about it.
Oh my God, babe, talk about it.
We made a cocktail.
This is a holiday episode, so we have a holiday drink. This is white chocolate peppermint tea from Tivana, which has since closed down.
So
but
you can't get it.
They're a part of Starbucks company, so you can still get it online or at Starbucks. And we've added a little bit of hot todiness to it.
A little holiday cheer.
Little holiday cheer.
Little
Cheers,
Santa.
everyone.
Cheers. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Santa juice.
What?
Okay, so here's what we're going to talk about.
Nope.
Santa juice, that's a new one for me.
Nope. Yeah, no, I'm good. Thanks, though.
Here's what we're going to talk about. We're going to ice break
keep his
it
juice. Okay.
with the first time you found out that Santa Claus was not real.
Well, I remember it like it was yesterday.
It was a cold December night.
Was it yesterday?
No.
Okay.
No, it wasn't yesterday. This was, my parents were still married, and they got divorced when I was 8, so I was pretty young, and I remember this. So we would go on Christmas Eve to my dad's side of the family, Christmas Day to my mom's side of the family. So Christmas Eve, we're getting ready to leave the house. All the kids were all piled in the car, and my cousin was there, my dad's nephew was also there, so we're all in the car while my cousin was left back in the house.
It's like Home Alone.
I forgot something. I don't remember what it was that I forgot, but I went running back into the house, and before they could stop me from running back in, I see my cousin eating the cookies that we left for Santa and drinking the milk and placing it as if Santa really did it.
Oh, that's traumatic.
And I remember seeing it and being like,
Santa?
it's not real. Like, it was, and I remember being so heartbroken and just walking back to the car. So sad because my cousin was Santa.
Was there any part of you that thought, like, my cousin's eating Santa's cookies?
I think probably at first I was just confused, like, what are you doing? And then
That's
it
for
was
Santa.
like, yeah. And then it was like, wait a minute.
Hey, cousin.
Santa's juice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a similar age, and I remember I got into shoes really early. So this was back when And One was like this big basketball brand, and they just come out with this shoe, which was really cool. They were like slip-ons, but they had a basketball attraction, and I wanted these so bad. And again, we weren't really like, we were super Christian, so we didn't really necessarily be like, oh, it's Santa Claus getting you gifts, but because we were around it and that wasn't dispelled, I kind of was like, hey, he might be real. And
He's one of Jesus' friends.
We had 3 bathrooms in our house. And so there was one, obviously, in my parents' master bedroom. And so somehow I think other bathrooms were taken. So I decided to use the bathroom in my parents' room. And so I remember them having this closet in the back. And I always wondered, I was like, you know what? I don't really use the bathroom in here. I wonder what's in that closet. Like, there could be anything, you know? So I'm like, I get done taking a deuce. And I'm like, I wipe my butt, just, you know, just like young Saturday morning, what we're going to get into. And I open up the closet, and I see those pair of shoes that I wanted for Christmas. And I got so excited. I literally took them out, and I tried them on. And I was running around in the bathroom. I was just so excited to have these shoes. And I was like, yo, these shoes are so dope. I don't even care if Santa Claus is real.
Oh, my gosh.
And so I was like, all right, I got to keep the secret, but this Christmas, it's lit. And so I put the shoes back like I never tried them on and was running around in them. And come Christmas morning, and they put the gifts down, and I acted so excited, like, oh my gosh, I wanted these shoes so bad.
Oh,
They've got like track marks on the bottom of them.
They're all worn out.
They smell like shampoo that spilled in the bathroom. Wait a minute.
And after that, I knew where they hid the presents.
Oh,
And so
Did you look every year?
Oh, every year. And I think my mom caught on probably like 2 years later. She was like, she started hiding them in different places or keeping them at friends' house.
That reminds me of that Friends episode where Monica
Yeah.
hides all the gifts. Chandler, I knew they'd get you. I never believed in Santa. I think it's maybe, I don't know, because I'm the most Christian out of us. I don't know. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I just wasn't deceived. You know what I mean? So walking in the truth. No, I remember I literally don't remember a time where I fully believed in Santa. And I was so jealous of people that did. Like, Angela, I would have been so jealous of you because all I wanted was to believe in Santa and feel like it was real, and it was just never real. I have an older brother and older sister, and before I could talk, they would like whisper in my ear, Santa's not real. And I was like, I know, we get it. But my dad wanted us to believe it because my dad, Michael Murphy, we know him, he is Mr. Christmas. Like, he is insane. And to this day, we wake up on Christmas morning, and even if I'm in LA, I get a video on my phone of he's been and Dad will walk through the house and Santa's been, and look, the reindeer's eating the carrots, he's had a beer, because in Australia Santa drinks beer.
Yep. Rightly so.
Not
Yeah.
milk and cookies.
Yeah.
No, which definitely doesn't feel right that he's drinking a beer per house. It's fine. You know what? It's fine. But and then he would show us on the video, there'd be Santa's footprints in snow. And if you can't see, I'm doing the inverted commas because it was flour. It was flour. And my dad every year would get the boot and would and then he would show where the reindeers crashed, and they would have crashed into the snow and everywhere.
That's dope.
And so, like, it's still to this day, I still have them on my phone. Like, all these photos and videos of Santa
That's
coming
so
to our
special.
house.
Yeah,
But
that's cool.
It's so fun.
That's dope. Well, we Puerto Ricans believe in the three wise men. So there was no Santa growing up. There was just three wise men, and we left our shoes outside of the door, and then they would put presents in the shoes outside of
Wait,
the door.
I think they do that in Mexico too.
Yeah.
Because that's what Rebecca and her kids celebrate, and they're from Mexico.
Yeah, so it's three wise men, and it's usually like a week or two after Christmas.
Did you ever try and
It's
get,
in
like, bigger
January.
shoes?
Yeah, it's after.
Huh?
Did you try and get bigger shoes so you'd get, like, more presents?
Nah, we were broke growing up, so anything in the shoe is good.
I mean, it's kind of like the stocking.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So that'd be
Yes.
like the...
Yeah.
And you'd leave them outside the door?
Yeah, we leave them outside the door, and then
I
we
kinda
would
like
run to the
that.
door and open it. And
What
be
kind
like,
of gifts would be in there?
It was always small things, you know? Like, I don't remember anything big. Anything that was big would probably be underneath the Christmas tree, but it wasn't from Santa. It was from the three wise men.
My favorite thing that we would get in our stockings was Andes mints.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what those are.
I don't know.
Oh,
Those
it's
little
like-
chocolate mints.
They used to be at, or they used to be at Olive Garden. Like
Yeah.
one of those. Oh,
They're
those
wrapped
things-
in green
yep.
paper like a gift.
You'd also get breadsticks. It was the best. We get in Australia, it's like gold money. Do you guys get that in foil?
Oh,
I've had it
chocolate?
before.
Money.
Yeah.
My dad was obsessed with them. Like, November would come around and, like, he'd start bringing home just, like, bags of chocolate money that he'd just, like, smash while he's watching TV at night.
Yeah, that's good times. Well, so if you think back then in your Christmas, like, and we think now, obviously I'm a massive Christmas head right now, but I'd like to know, like, what did Christmas mean growing up until this point? You know what I'm saying? Because obviously we see the movies, and by we, I mean me, and by movies, I mean Hallmark. We see them all the time, and we see the decorations, we see everything, and there's this spirit of it's supposed to be joy. But I know for a lot of people, joy is probably the last thing. Maybe it's more like stress if you're a parent, and if you're a kid, maybe it's more like sadness because if you're going without. And I don't know, growing up as a kid, again, like we didn't have like a, I don't think my parents ever really had a spirit of Christmas. Like when we were young, we always got stuff, but it was never like, we never like did Christmas vibes.
I almost feel like sometimes the best part of Christmas is the anticipation of Christmas, like the lead
Yeah.
up. We were kind of talking about that before. Like the lead up to Christmas can be such an exciting thing, and I think maybe that's what you're talking about, is that like that sense of anticipation or leading up to Christmas. So
yeah,
the
I kind
things
of
were
wish it
there.
was more Christmassy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we had a tree, we always had it, whatever. But again, since Santa wasn't, you know, and we didn't do, we didn't. It was weird. But I don't have any like memories of Christmas in the sense of like good or bad. You know,
Right.
I just don't ever think about that. I knew that since we were in the Army, we were always traveling. And then I also knew that my dad always gave us $500 for Christmas and $500 for our birthday.
Dang.
Yeah.
Wow, your dad was rich.
500 for Christmas, 500 for a birthday, and that's it.
Come on, who needs Santa?
That's a lot.
I don't need Santa. I'll take the 3 wise men. That sounds
Yeah,
good.
and then I
loaded.
remember this one outfit I wore when I was in Kansas for Christmas because it was cold, but I just got these. There's spandex, like when spandex came out. So I had these black spandex with aqua stripes on the side, right? And I had a Batman shirt that had his Batman mobile on it, and it had all the specs of the Batman mobile on lined up next to it.
It's
and
Batmobile?
Yeah, and then I had purple Nike Forces on.
Hey.
So that
was
was
your
my
favorite
that was
outfit?
my outfit.
Wow.
Killed it that Christmas. It was cold as hell outside, so I couldn't wear outside, but I was getting ready for that new year. But yeah, does anybody have any Christmas memories that good or bad?
I have good and bad memories of Christmas growing up. I remember wearing our cutest outfit that we got for Christmas. We would wear that to my aunt's house. That's where the big celebration was at my aunt's house. And so whatever Christmas gift we got, it was like a cute outfit. That's what we would wear to Christmas. And it was cousins, aunts, uncles, everybody was there for Christmas time. And friends would always come. So there'd be always like 50 plus people at our Christmas celebration because it's our whole family. And then if we had close friends, they came too. Breakfast, my mom always makes breakfast on Christmas, and that's a happy memory for me. But definitely after my parents got divorced, it was different. It was Christmas Eve was spent with Dad, and then Christmas with Mom. And so on Christmas Eve, we'd be at my aunt's house, my dad's sister, and we would open our gifts there. And after that would be after midnight, and my dad would drive us back to my mom's house. And it was always a sad drive because it was dark. It was cold. We were listening to Christmas music the whole time, the whole drive there. We were all sleepy in the back. And so it was sad because, you know, we're leaving, Dad's going to Mom's, the separation, that's sad. But then also because Christmas is over now, like the anticipation, the buildup leads to like sadness, kind of like the day after your wedding. Like it's all over now. You were building up to this and then now it's done. And so sometimes there's a little bit of like postpartum from that. And so I just remember sometimes I can hear a Christmas song on the radio and it triggers me because I can go back vividly into my dad's Nissan Sentra with terrible tinted windows with bubbles in the tint because they were such a terrible tint job, and sitting in the back seat and him driving us down Monterey Road back home listening to sad Christmas music. And so sometimes I think of those memories, which are not fun, but it is what it is, you know?
Even to this day, that's what Christmas still feels.
Every now and then I'll hear a certain song.
Tricky.
The one, da da da, da da da.
Oh yeah.
The sleigh bells ring.
It's in it. A wonderful Christmas time.
That song is
Sorry,
so
Angela
sad
stops
to me.
crying. We're like laughing. Simply
Yeah.
happy. Angela's crying in the background.
Oh man, so that's still a trigger for you then.
Dang.
That
I always find that song creepy anyway, so I'm on
it's a
your
little
side.
bit, isn't it?
I don't
Something's
like,
it's
just
something in the. Weren't we just
something's
talking
off.
about certain keys
Yeah.
in songs? What were you saying?
Yeah, we were talking about how there's different vibrations that come from certain keys
Yeah.
that it resonates within your emotions and
Yes.
a deep part of you, you know, like our bodies and just
Yes.
even to the down to the smallest level respond to vibration and sound patterns.
That's why most of the pop songs are in major chords because they feel better.
And they're happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That song definitely is not in a major chord.
No, I don't know. Anybody else?
Yeah, similar to Ange, it was good growing up. My dad doesn't have a lot of family on his side. Like it's essentially just him and my grandmother. My grandma Nina is probably one of the funniest people I know. But then the rest of the family growing up and Christmas was all my mom's side. Huge Mexican family, you know? And so, yeah, once the divorce happened, which again, this is normal. And so like, and I'm sure there's people and there's families who are like dealing with that right now, and it feels awkward, and you're doing your best to make it feel like it's special. But everyone in the room knows like, yo, this is awkward as hell.
Right. Wow.
And you're even sometimes like as a kid, you're with different parents that you might not have the most amount of love for in that moment. And Christmas feels weird. And that's what it felt like. So it felt like I owed both parents. Like, I got to spend time with you and I got to spend time with you. And I was just like, yeah, it just made me tired. And so for Christmas, it just felt like, man, we spent so many years trying to find our rhythm. And I mean, that was 8 years ago now. And I think we're barely finding our rhythm.
Wow.
Which it takes a while.
Sure.
And so I think two things that kind of helped make Christmas special again was falling in love.
Yeah.
So 2015, I fall in love with Maddie. She flies in the day after Christmas. That was like the most special Christmas that I had had in a long time. Because I was thinking, oh, even if my family doesn't get it together, and even if this dynamic doesn't feel like, oh my God, this is so special, at least I got this.
You got a thing.
And at least we got family, and we're going to be able to create our own traditions, and we're going to be able to make this special for us. And she comes from a family where they have a huge Christmas celebration. Man. So when we first got married, I'm flying to Alabama because I'm like, oh, this feels special. Like, I'm kind of joining what you guys have. And again, huge mixed family as well. So they finally found their rhythm. So my family we're still finding our rhythm. And so, yeah, so Christmas for me for a while, it just felt like really lonely. Like I was just like, I wish we could just fast forward through this. Yeah. And then it's weird because you feel like you get down on yourself because you're like, I shouldn't feel like I want to fast forward through Christmas. Yeah. What's wrong with me? This is such a special time. Yeah. Everyone is so happy. Yeah. And then you kind of like, you feel so isolated within yourself because you're like, I'm probably the only one that feels like this. Well, no, you're not. There's a lot of other people who feel like this. Like, and again, it just kind of brings up what's already there. Yeah. So if there's tension within the family, trying to act like everything's great and like, oh my God, we're going to do all our special things again. You're like, oh, this is really just emphasizing the fact that we don't got it.
Man, that's interesting because we never had special things for any kind of holiday. So there was never a feeling like I was missing out on anything because we didn't do anything special for any holidays. And I remember my last couple Christmas before getting married, it was super depressing because I was always in Florida, you know, like for a good 15 years. And Florida is hot as hell in Christmas. And I was just always depressed because I'm like, oh man, this doesn't feel like Christmas. We don't do anything for Christmas. Yeah. I'm not sad. Like I'm in the sense of like, I'm mad at my parents because we don't do anything, but it's just, we just never did anything. Like we never ate dinner around the table ever. The first time we ever ate dinner at a table was when we were married and we did Thanksgiving. And that was only like 2 years ago or something like that, 2 or 3 years ago.
No, that was a long time ago.
Really?
Early in our marriage because I initiated it. I was like, what? You guys don't do Thanksgiving? I flew all the way out here and y'all don't do Thanksgiving? Nah, we go and celebrate. Let me teach you how.
It's so weird that we just didn't really celebrate any of that stuff. Like, it's so weird. And I'm such a Christmas head. So it wasn't until we got married and it was hella weird because she's like, okay, for Christmas, we go up to the Bay. And I was like already planning trips. Like, we're going to go here, we're going to go here. She's like, no, we go to the Bay every Christmas. I was like, every Christmas? She's like, every Christmas. And that was really sad for me.
Okay, because he wants to like go and like do us for Christmas. And I'm like, we do us all year long. We don't have kids. Our family is there and there. So we do us all year long. Now's the time to do family. Right. Now's the time when you go home.
But I'm not
and
used
if your
to family
doesn't do anything, then we go to my house. That's what it is.
My family's, you know, the idea of family getting together for Christmas was hella weird. And the fact that when I would get to go to the Bay and they were all together, like all 50 to 100 of them, I was like, man, this is like, y'all get together for stuff? Like,
and at first I'd be so mad because he would leave our party to go to the movies. And I used to get so mad at him. I'd be like, how dare you?
Had you not seen enough Hallmark movies?
But then I was like, you know what? Let me give him his room because he didn't grow up with family, with cousins, with he never met his grandparents. Like, he didn't grow up with any of this. So as long as you come for a little bit, pay your dues, and then go ahead. Go to the movies, do you.
Was that super overwhelming for you? The idea of like...
I just didn't know how to feel. Like, I didn't know how to care.
So you needed... Was that like movie time? We know you love movies, but like, was that like you processing it, or was that you just...
No. I just didn't know how to care. It was
so
like, these
interesting.
people are all strangers to me.
Yeah.
They'll say hi, but I won't talk to them for 364 days. And I'll come back on the 365th and we'll meet here again. So it was just like, I'm
got it.
man, I don't, I would like to know these people, but at the end of the day, I feel like everybody has their own life. I'm not a part of this family per se. I'm just coming in on the woo, and so I just kind of felt like, excuse me, more of like a visitor whenever we had those big family things. And it's not that anybody was mean or anything, but I would just kind of zone out on the couch.
But you don't still feel that way, do you?
No, I mean, no, I feel like I know them. I feel like I know them. I feel like I know everybody there, and I feel like we're cool. You know what I'm saying? We still break out and go to the movies.
Yeah, but now it's a thing. Like now it's not just you.
And
like a whole
and I've
group
always
goes
went with your
you.
family. I went with Snitchell, and now I go with Theopolis. Like the past 2 years, it's been, we go together. So now it's a thing. But I am embracing the family thing now because I know it's so important to you, and it's the first time I've had a family thing. And we started flying my parents out.
Oh,
and so they really enjoyed it.
How did they go with like Christmas traditions and stuff like that?
They didn't have any. So this was the first time. Like it was the first time we ever spent together, like doing something.
That's so cool. I love that you do that.
You're welcome.
My one Christmas memory.
All right.
You know what? To be honest, the one Christmas memory that was dope, which is hilarious because, granted, the shoes outside were cool. We did a couple times we caroled, but it was doing Spanish songs, so I don't know if it counts.
Wait, give us some. Give
It
us
was
some.
just very
Give us a
like
little bit.
we brought this like maracas, and we had this guido that we would play, and then we would sing the Feliz Navidad, and we would just sing random songs
Whenever.
from Tito Rojas and all
It
this
doesn't
stuff.
matter. Whenever I hear that
Feliz
song, I think they're
Navidad.
saying my name.
Yeah.
Feliz Navidad.
Oh, you can remix that. Remix that.
Yes, we should.
Yes, Elise.
But one of my favorite memories of Christmas is when we went to when I went and she told me that we play money games. So her dad
He's like, all right, let's
would
go.
play these money games, and he would go to the bank and get out all this money, like in random like ones, tens, fives, 20s, and then change. And so he would put it on the table, empty it all out, and then we played games with it. So the first game was we had to guess how many.
First of all, it's called Who Wants to Be a $100-Millionaire?
Yeah.
Yes.
Who wants to be $100-millionaire? So and we had to guess how much money was there. So if you were able to guess within $5 of it, then you got all of it, and the game was over.
Wow.
And if you didn't, whoever got the closest got $20, and whoever got the second got 10, and so on and so forth. And then we would play one called Make It Rain, where he would stand on a chair, and he would make it rain, and you had to catch him, and however many you catch, you keep. And then he played one where he
minutes
drops
a
a.
minute.
Y'all got space?
Yo, it was so dope, and I didn't care about the money because we were just like it was whatever. You won a couple $100 maybe if you were the number one guy.
Yeah.
But it was something so fun that I genuinely look forward to because it was fun. Like for a minute, we were all kids playing these games, and I've never heard of anything like it. And it was something for real that I was like, I need to take this back and do this for the
And
rest
then
of my
real
life.
life happens. Let
And
me
then
tell
real
you.
life
Let me tell
happened.
you what happens.
Yeah.
So we had that tradition for a while since my parents got divorced. We would do Christmas Eve. Now my sister's married and had her house, and so we would go to my sister's house with my dad. We'd play money games, and we'd do that for year after year after year. And then just people start not getting along. Politics happen, and division happens in family, and old childhood trauma gets brought up. And so recently, 3 or 4 years ago, our childhood, my dad, he's great. I love my dad. I have a great relationship with him now. Growing up, he was very scary. And I think something that humans do to protect themselves, they compartmentalize. And so if you were to ask my dad, he would tell you, oh, I've never laid a hand on my kids. I don't spank my kids. And my dad used to beat us. Mm-hmm. Like, I've had bruises. It was not fun. Verbally abusive, scary, just scary. And so we grew up with my dad being volatile. We didn't know if he was going to get triggered for something, and just his temper, and he would pop off. So that's how we grew up. And then we're adults now, and we have a relationship where we're just fine with my dad and we're cool. And I think 3 or 4 years ago, I can't remember when it was, we were doing a Christmas Eve and we went to dinner, and something was miscommunicated, and my dad lost it and lost his temper. And it was like an immediate flashback to our childhood. And we all my dad left, he took off, but we all stayed and had dinner and pretended nothing was wrong, even though you can visibly see all of us were resorted back to little kids. Yeah. And my dad still was able to bring all of us, at this point, we're all in our 30s, still he had us all in tears on Christmas Eve in our own time. I'm back after that. We go to the hotel. I'm sitting at the bar by myself, having a drink, crying. My sister had her own moment, going to bed, crying. My brothers, both, they had their own crying, because we were reminded of the not good times in our childhood. And that was on Christmas Eve. And since then, we haven't had another Christmas Eve with my dad. And since then, my brother's relationship with my dad has gotten worse. And so now, this year, my dad is going to be with us for Christmas Eve, and it'll be the first time in a long time. So I'm not sure how that's going to be. He hasn't really talked to my brothers in a long time. So it could be the most awkward Christmas Eve of all time. Or it could be a night of healing, and they can talk and make up, and who knows.
It's so, like, interesting that they call it. We were talking about this the other day, like the most wonderful time of the year. And there are so many fun stories about how everyone hopefully has a story or a memory or just a something of, even if it wasn't reality for them, how much they want this to be the most wonderful time of the year. And what's so crazy to me is that everyone has the same amount, if not more, stories of it being something else, the most blank, fill in the blank time of the year. And it was, I think for me growing up, it was like Christmas. I would always look forward to Christmas. Like Mariah Carey was on from July. My birthday's July 24th. And from July 25th, like, let's go. It's Christmas time. And my family, my dad's one of 7. And so pastor's kid, so we'd wake up, have the snow, Santa, he's been, all that kind of stuff. And then we'd open presents, go to church together, and then get on the freeway and go to my aunt's house. And she's like, my Aunt Robin, like conversation cards on the table, like everything set out. She's so excited. And the family's louder than we are. It's just insane. You can't hear a thing. It's so offensive and politically incorrect. It's the best. And so I just always looked forward to it. And then could not wait to start my own family and bring them in on the tradition. Never was a thought in my mind that I would start my own tradition. It was just the kind of family I came from. And I'm so lucky and I'm so grateful for their upbringing. And so then I moved to LA, and the first couple of Christmases I come back home, and it was a little different. Still the best time of the year, absolutely. But, life starts to happen and all this kind of stuff. And then I totally relate to you, B, in the, like, when I started dating that Christmas, it was because my ex-husband was my first official boyfriend ever as well. And so, yeah, did you know that?
I did not know
that.
I
didn't know that either.
Fun fact, guys.
Yeah.
Turns out.
Oh, man.
Turns out don't marry your first ever official boyfriend. But, yeah, so he was my first ever official boyfriend. So I remember that Christmas. I dreamed of this.
Yeah.
This was all
I want for Christmas is you, and you finally get you.
This was the you. We had like Johnny Swim Christmas album nonstop playing the entire Christmas. I still can't really listen to it. But we like had our first kiss around Christmas. He made it so special. And so I was like, this is the thing. It's the best. Who needs Santa? And so 12 months later, we were engaged. And I still remember it so clearly. It was my first ever Christmas that I was like, something doesn't feel good anymore. And it was almost like the most disappointing time of the year because I had all these expectations. And some of that is totally on me and all that kind of stuff. But I remember coming home from church that day in LA, and we came to the apartment that would be ours soon. We were getting married in like a month. And I remember there was nothing planned. It was just almost like, it was just sad. It was just uneventful. And we were never the family that had a bunch of money to be able to we couldn't be doing like Who Wants to Be a Hundredaire or anything like that. So, you know what I mean?
$100-millionaire.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. $100-millionaire. What was the safe level? Like $30, like safe level?
Oh, no. We would walk home with a couple $100.
Everybody.
And then if you sucked at the games, you went home with like
Can we play this game?
$17.
I kind of want to play the game.
It's really fun.
I think we should. But so we would like, again, as a family growing up, we didn't have a bunch of money, but it was always special. So I don't think you have to have money to make it a special holiday. But for me that year, it just was disappointing. And it was the first time ever I was like, maybe we just got to get to the wedding. And it was the first time I looked forward to something that was past Christmas. Let me fast forward, kind of like Adam Sandler and Click kind of vibes. The year later, I was divorced. I'd filed for divorce and I was back in Australia. And I remember I filed in between that TV shoot thing, and then it was December. I laughed at this Thanksgiving because I was like, oh my gosh, this 2 years ago, the night before, I called Angela and was like, hey, I think we're probably, like, I'm pretty sure he's leaving. We're going to get a divorce. Did you want me to bring mashed potatoes or fried rice? She was like, what? But I remember that Christmas, I was back in Australia, and I remember waking up on Christmas morning and just wanting to go back to sleep and getting out of bed because I knew my nephews, and at least I had my nephews and my niece that were coming over. And sometimes I think nephews and nieces and the little ones get you through those days when it just everything feels exposing and blech. And I remember walking into church. That was the tradition. I had my full makeup on because I was like so LA. And I remember I was I couldn't talk to anyone. I looked like such a jerk. But I knew if someone said hello to me, I would just start crying. Because I remember thinking Christmas used to be what I saw in the movies. I really had it. I had the reality of what people saw. And it used to be real. But now it just feels like all the worst parts of that 3/4 of the way through the movies. And I'm not at the point yet where he came back to get her or he surprised her and got back on the plane, or you know what I mean? And so I think that for me, it's been a very recent thing where it's been always had the most wonderful time of the year. And now it's around the holidays that it feels a little more exposing. And last year, me and my friend Katie were like, it's time to make a new memory. And so we woke up Christmas morning in our little like Christmas onesies, and we went out, got people coffee, like went and visited our friends. And it just was it was a point last year for me that it was like, no, I'm taking back the joy of Christmas. And I'm not going to let something that was real and was heartbreaking and was horrible and lonely, but I'm not going to let that tell my story for the next 10 Christmases. So I think that like I really like what, I don't know who said it, but like it was meant to be, it wasn't meant to look like this, or it used to be great. And I think that that's so true, that Christmas can bring out that extremity of whatever's already there. To me, it is the most exposing time of the year. And it's like, it's the highest of highs, and then it can be the loneliest. It's insane.
For sure. Depending on where you're at in the scale of your family. I feel like Christmas is almost like, I remember I was like really anti-wedding season because I think it's just robbery. Weddings are a big robbery is what they are. People steal your money and you end up spending too much on it.
Yo, if you haven't seen the new like comedy special by, what's her last name? Eliza
Schlesinger. But
Yeah.
Eliza now.
Yeah, great, good. I'm glad. It's
Eliza,
hilarious.
very funny.
Unveiled, very, very funny.
Yeah. But Christmas is almost that too, where I was just watching this movie. Did you see Holiday Rush yet?
No, I haven't seen it. I just watched Married by Christmas. Great one.
Did you like it?
Wait, you got to give the people like your top three Christmas
Okay, well,
movies
this
as well.
season, I told Bo Beast, I was like, these are the movies you got to watch, and this
True.
is
I still got to watch Noel.
Married by Christmas, Noel, and then The Chronicles of Christmas is also a great one, and then Get Santa. Those are the ones I told her to watch. Anyways, Holiday Rush is a good one because this DJ loses all his money, and his kids that were once spoiled are now like all upset that they're not getting the things that they want.
Manny was trying to teach me a lesson about just being content. You know what I mean?
Oh my God. I'd
have spanked these
so
kids.
angry. I was so angry at the TV.
Yeah.
But then I started thinking, I'm like, this ain't coming from nowhere. And I guess I really think like, are there people out there that feel this insane pressure like brides when they get married,
Yeah.
you know, parents when they're having Christmas, that it just doesn't feel like a real Christmas unless the kids get what they want. And there's this pressure to get what they want, you know? And as a grown up looking back, I'm sorry. Man, and I don't know if this is normal. I don't remember any Christmas gifts. I don't remember anything. I only remember that my mom and my dad were with me. Something I can remember. I don't remember the gifts I got. I don't remember.
That's so true.
There's only probably a handful of gifts that I remember.
Yeah, I can't.
But I think the one thing that I do remember that's been a constant tradition that I've actually continued, and I plan to continue this tradition in our family, is we read the birth of Jesus on Christmas morning.
Yeah.
And it was weird because it's like this, and that's the crazy thing about the Bible. It's like you can read it your whole life and still not get it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden there'll come this moment where you're just like, oh my God, that's what it means. And so I remember this was probably like 2013. So this was, I am alone in Cancun on Christmas.
Oh, shoot.
And because my dad had come in town. I think he had just left. And so I was like, I'm having Christmas alone in my own hotel room.
Oh,
And I'm feeling super lonely, you know, because this is like 2 years fresh after the divorce. And I'm like, what am I doing, you know? So I remember reading the Christmas account, and there comes this point where they proclaim Jesus, and one of his names is Emmanuel. And I remember, I'm sure a lot of people remember that Martha Munizzi song that talks about all the names of God. Mm-hmm. Like, what was it? Jehovah Nissi, Lord, you reign in victory.
yes.
Jehovah Jireh.
Rapha,
Yes,
Jehovah Jireh.
Yes.
Yes, we all know the names of God. And it was the craziest thing because Emmanuel is obviously, we know God with us. And it's this very present thing. Mm-hmm. That in the moment of like extreme loneliness, here is Emmanuel, God with me right now, here in this moment. And that's always the toughest thing. And so it was like kind of one of those things I felt like jump-started me. And every Christmas, at like Christmas season, I'm always reminded of that. And it always brings me to tears because I'm like, God is with us, you know? That's Emmanuel. And so that tradition to me holds so much value and meaning because I'm like, at this point, I don't really care to have gifts. Like people, you know, hey, what can we get you? I'm like, I make a list of a bunch of stuff that I don't need.
Yeah.
But really, it's like now I just want to spend time with loved ones. And in that presence of the people that I really love, man, I feel God. And it's like I'm very aware of his presence that is currently with me.
Yeah.
You know?
I hope that people understand that the most important thing, and I don't know why. I mean, I get it. Kids are going to be kids. I get it. I really do. But I sometimes wonder if we ever had kids, you know, how we would handle Christmas. I would hope that if we ever had kids and my kids end up like my niece, Janoy. Because she is so freaking balanced. Last Christmas, I took her out, and we were in New York, and I'm like, what do you want? Whatever you want, it's yours. And she's like, I don't need anything. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm good. I don't need anything. I have everything that I need. And I'm like, she's just saying that. Yo, she literally, the entire day, I'm trying to take her shopping, and she would not say anything. And you know what she told me to get her? Some books off of Amazon. It was like $12 for some books. And I'm just like, why are you so perfect? Why are you so dope? Like, she was so genuine. And I'm just crazy. Like thanking my sister for raising such a good kid. And I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, how did you get this kid like this? Like, how do you get in this world that we live in that is such a me thing, and that you feel like you need to have things to be happy? How did you raise this amazing person? And it makes me think, if we had kids, like, what would be the traditions that we would bring into this thing that kept everyone balanced and really understanding what Christmas was all about? Because I swear to God, in my whole life, the only thing I remember about my childhood is that my parents were present. That's just it. And if you're a parent listening, I just feel like that's going to speak louder than any gift or any attempt at buying your kids love. I just feel like being present will be the best gift ever when they look back. At least for me as a grown up, I look back and still to this day, the only thing I really care about is that my parents are always present, you know?
Yeah.
Is that how you feel?
I think
If you ever had kids? Shame. We have no kids. But if we do.
another good memory that I have of Christmas is more recent, like what we do now, is when my mom makes breakfast. She always makes way too much. And then we make breakfast burritos and we go pass them out to the homeless.
Yes.
And we've done that for years. And there's this one park in San Jose, St. James Park. Anybody in San Jose listening knows what I'm talking about. It's like homeless hub central. And when we first used to go out there, we were like the only ones with like bags of burritos, and we'd be passing them out. And then within like a few minutes, we're all gone. And we're like, sorry, guys, we didn't bring enough. Now, if you go every Christmas morning, it's almost like food trucks, but it's people coming. So like you'll see like this one family, they have their van and they have pots of chili and they're like serving chili to the homeless. And then this family over here is handing out burritos, and this family over here. So now it's like a big thing that everybody does is go to St. James Park and pass out food to the homeless. So that's a fun thing that we would do sometimes too.
I love that. I think I will definitely keep the family aspect of Christmas, which maybe kind of sounds weird because I'm in LA now, so I'm like literally could not be further from my blood family. But I think there is something about family at this time of year, whether you have your blood family there or not. And I think that like I keep that. Last year was probably like the hardest financial year for me. I was still trying to get back up on my feet and all that kind of stuff. And kind of similar, I just felt really challenged of like, hey, what's Christmas about? And it's such a hallmark. Like, think of the real meaning of Christmas. Manny's getting teary-eyed over there. He's like, I love it. I know that scene. And I think that like there is a hope at this time of year. And I think that's the thing. Like, it does feel a little magical. But I think what it is this thing in our human spirit that wants to believe in miracles, that wants to believe that it's possible, whatever it is, that there is something that's possible no matter what like the situation looks like. And I think that last year was special for me because you drive around LA and it does get kind of cold this time of year at night, not in the daytime. You start the day with like a big sweater and then you like tank top midday, then back to the sweater. It's confusing. But I would see the homeless people around last year and I was like, man, like, not only is that lonely, I'm experiencing a lonely part of Christmas, but like they don't have physical stuff, like not even a home, or like there's not even like it kind of blew my mind. And I drove past them all the time, but there was just, I looked in a guy's eyes and I remember looking at him and being like, I wish I had something in my car to give him. And then I was like, why don't I get some stuff? And it was just so random and little. And story of my life, it became extreme ELYSE once again. And I went on Pinterest and found these like, Jesus loves you bags.
Oh, wow.
Don't worry, guys. I didn't buy them, but I was like very tempted. I bought the Jesus is the reason of the season ones instead. Don't worry. But I like filled them with stuff. And then I asked our staff, I was like, hey, do you think we could like let's do it together? And so as a staff, we filled bags, put them in our trunk.
We do that too.
And it was the coolest thing to be able to stop at a light and have something to give them.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't even giving them. It was like, I'm looking you in the eye when I'm giving you this. This isn't I'm passing it out the window. It's human connection at this time of year.
Yep.
And I think that's kind of what you were talking about, Manny, is like, you don't remember the gifts. I don't remember any gifts I got as a kid except for a bike because I didn't want it. And so like obviously not a great example. I remember being like, I asked for a bike, but I remember thinking like, I don't even want a bike. Like my friends, I don't want a bike. Please don't get me a bike. And then I came down. I was like, I love it. Thank you so much. Oh my God. But what I remember is my family, is connection, is human connection. And I think like, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but that's what I want to pass down. And Australian pavlova because it's the best dessert in the world.
What do you guys put in your bags?
For the homeless, I put like a bunch of toiletry stuff. So I had like a red one for women and a green one for men, and would put like toiletry stuff in there for them. And then I put like my favorite protein bars because I had this whole like moral like junction where I was like, am I gonna get them like a granola bar. Nothing wrong with granola bars, but I was like, let me just get them like actual cool stuff. And I got them like Starbucks iced coffee. I don't know. I got really excited about it. Socks as well.
Yeah, we do a pack of socks, a toothbrush, a toothpaste, 2 granola bars, 2 fruit snacks, and a $5 gift card to Starbucks.
Yeah.
And then just
Dude, I
put them
love
in
that.
like the gallon Ziploc bags and have a bag of them in the car. So when you pull to stoplight, and then you have something to give, and it's actual like necessities. First of all, if you're trying to do something like that, socks is the number one thing.
Yes, that they
that
need.
is needed in the homeless community is socks.
And if you do it, like let us know because we want to hear stories and know that like that's at this time of year. Like, let's do it. Like, let's do that kind of stuff.
One of the traditions some of the traditions I have, which I still have yet to do it this year. We still do it on the low key. Last year I did a big Christmas thing where I talked to all of you guys and asked people to send in stories and people who really needed their Christmas list taken care of, and we took care of 2 families' Christmas lists, and it's on YouTube. You'll see it, but something that we've done every year. Like, we help people every year, but this time I just wanted to hopefully inspire other people to help, no matter who it is. So I have this tradition that I call all the churches that I used to go to. So like, I'll call Faith back in the day, and I'll call my friends here at Oasis back when what's her name? Abercrombie.
Ashley.
Ashley. I would call
Shout out.
Ashley. I'll shoot her, and I would just ask them who needs something.
Yeah.
And I was like, just tell me who needs something, and it'll be random. So one time I got a single mom 4 new tires, and then another year I bought a refrigerator for someone, and then one year it was just as simple as toys. And but it's always that's like one of the traditions that if we ever had kids, it would be, what are we gonna do for someone this year? That's all we care about. So this year it will be the same thing. It's like, what are we going to do? Like, I just wake up thinking, okay, I have to do something for someone. That's going to be the gift. We don't give gifts to each other anymore. Not really for anything. Maybe for the birthday, but it's never like a mandatory thing. It's more like
already have
for other people.
we need.
Yeah, Christmas is definitely for other people. So, I don't know. That's what I would do.
That's so cool.
One tradition that we actually have kept alive, which has been passed on through my sister, because through the holidays, my sister and I, we always stick together. So wherever one's at, you always see the other. Is my mom used to always make huevos rancheros in the morning, and it's bomb. My mom still has like the best salsa I've ever tasted, and I lived in Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been everywhere.
Oh, wow.
My mom still holding it down. And so anyways, we would have a bunch of chips and salsa, and she would use some of that salsa, obviously water it down, and make huevos rancheros from it. And so my sister now knows how to make the salsa, because my mom had the recipe, but there was no measurements. Like, it was just all like, hey, I it. Yes. So when I tried to learn, I'm like, okay, how much you put here? And I can't get it.
You just gotta feel it.
Brittany feels it.
Ah, nice.
And now she kills it. And so I'm like,
That's so
which she taught Maddie last year
Oh, nice.
how to make it. So Maddie can make it now.
Maddie can cook too.
Maddie can throw it down.
Maddie, mama.
So that's always cool, because I'm like, oh, this is so good. And I don't have that a lot.
Yeah.
So for me, that meal on Christmas Eve morning is so special to me.
That's
and it
dope.
just
I love
just
that.
warms my heart,
Yeah.
Man, that's dope. I don't have a Christmas meal. That sucks.
My mom's British, so we always had like meat and potatoes, like full roast.
Yeah,
She'd like
that
do
sounds
and then
bomb,
I
too.
made the pavlova. I
What
felt
is
that.
this? What is this
Oh
pavlova?
my- Alrighty, guys. Alrighty, so here's the thing. I make a chocolate pavlova. You've never heard of that.
Pavlova.
Well,
to me,
first-
It's like a
sounds
meringue?
it sounds like a virus.
Yeah. No, you go to hospital.
Pavlova
They haven't
virus.
found a cure yet, but it's an Australian. It's very contagious at Christmas, I guess is all I can say. You really got to watch out for it.
Is it a pastry?
It's a meringue.
What's that?
Yeah.
I don't know what to do then.
Keep going.
Blah, blah. I'm malfunctioning. I don't know how to describe a meringue. It's like a meringue.
poof.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Is it a
it's like-
poof?
it's
It's
like
a poof.
yeah,
but
like-
it's sweet and
A
it's
poof?
airy. and then you put cream on top, and then
Usually
strawberries
like
and
white,
berries.
like a lemon meringue. It's like a white.
I know.
You make it with like
You can't
literally
describe
make
meringue
it.
with the word meringue. What's a meringue? It's like a lemon meringue. Oh, okay.
Puffy
You
white,
spell
puffy
Santa.
white thing, not marshmallowy though.
Okay, no, I get what you're saying.
Put it in a sentence. There was a meringue. Okay, so it's like you make it with egg whites and sugar, and you just keep beating it until it's fluffy, and then you put it into the oven and you cook it. But it can easily, like, you can screw it up real easily. I don't. But
You make it chip,
can.
and you
know
make
what I
it
mean?
chocolate.
Yeah, and so then I put cocoa in it, and then you put the whipped cream on top. It's like a family favorite. I don't know. Like, it's just something that
Yeah, I want you to make it for us.
Yeah, I can't. We could totally make that happen. I might be a little rusty now. But the other thing my family used to do that I will not bring into my family is any PKs will know what I'm talking about. Family photos every freaking
Oh,
year.
like actual Christmas
Yeah,
card.
y'all
People
definitely
do
had
that.
the light denim white shirts on.
Oh, we had the denim as a family. There is one year that I had a plate in a retainer.
Oh.
And my smile looks like, well, it looks like one of those teenage movies, and they're like, "This is why she was still single," and then they're like zoomed
Yeah,
in
you
on
look
her,
like the little girl at Finding
let's take her
Nemo.
right back. Yeah, it's like the transformation thing, like beforehand, and then like, this is what she used to look like, and I just look scared, like I look worried for my life, but. Apart from
Pictures. I never thought about that. I always thought that was
Family
pretty funny.
photos.
People send us pictures all the time.
it was my family probably.
We didn't do that.
Nah, I don't think we would ever do that. Maybe we would. I don't know.
You guys should with Bonzo.
Yeah, we have
People
to now that
would
we have
like
Bonzo.
Bonzo. Let's just put Bonzo on it.
You can make him like an elf on the shelf.
We got to do our matching Adidas suits.
Oh yeah, we all can.
Wait,
put on
he
that.
has one
That's right.
too?
Yeah, Bonzo
Yeah.
has one.
We
Yeah,
got to
that'd
do
be-
it.
The
that'd
people
be
need
dope.
it.
That would be dope.
The
Done.
people need
I
it.
love it. Look, this Christmas, if you're out there listening, we hope that it was an amazing one. Hopefully, at this point, you're either hearing it the day of or the day after. Hopefully, that everybody in your family received what they wanted. Hopefully, that is love. That everybody felt loved in your family, and if you did it, we want to send that love to you. Were you gonna say something?
Yeah, I wanted to also add, if you're listening to this right now, whether it's on Christmas, after Christmas, and maybe you're feeling a little bit of the blues, a little bit of it's Christmas is over, maybe you're sad, or maybe this is typically a difficult time for you every year, just know that you are not alone.
Yeah.
And take some time to just be present in the moment with gratitude. And gratitude is so powerful, and it can shift your mood and your energy and your perspective. So if that is you right now listening that's feeling a little down, that's okay. It's okay to feel that and feel all the feels, process it, receive it in your body, and then take some time to think about 5 things that you're grateful for and say them out loud and hear yourself saying the things that you're grateful for and allow yourself to process it and let the grief go and then move into gratitude and get ready for this new year.
And even if you're feeling good, it's still a good thing to list 5 gracious things that
Quick,
you know.
Manny, you doing? We're all doing.
What grateful
Yeah.
for? I am grateful for my health because
Yes,
last
last year.
Christmas or last Thanksgiving, I was sick from Thanksgiving all the way to Valentine's Day, and I couldn't leave my house. I was literally I had a whooping cough, and it was miserable. And I my heart broke for people that suffer with actual diseases that aren't going away. So I'm just uber grateful that I'm healthy and that I get to enjoy Christmas and New Year's and all that stuff this year.
Good one.
B.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful for work opportunities, man. This has been a really good year for Maddie and I.
Yeah.
And so it's cool because I'm like, wow, like I get to do something I'm good at, I'm passionate about, and it provides to pay for all our needs. I'm like super, super blessed by that, you know?
Love that.
It's awesome. I'm grateful for a year of building on the year before. There's a few years there that it kind of felt like it was, what's the opposite of building? Crashing? Yeah, that.
Destroying.
Destroying.
Destroyed.
Like rubble, like fire. No, just keep going. I'm really grateful that this year has felt like a lot of new things. This has been new, but like lots of new things to try. And I'm super grateful for that because I started the year with a bunch of things that I wanted to see and not everything goes perfectly, but I feel like I've tried a lot of things this year, and I'm super grateful for the opportunity to do that. And that I'm going to be able to go and see my family in Australia this year for a little bit. So I'm really excited for that.
That's good.
Yeah, thanks.
I am grateful for my dog. No
Love
offense.
I am too.
Just kidding.
I'm totally.
I'm grateful for my dog. My dog is so special. He's just a really good dog, first of all. Like, I got lucky because I see dogs that are not super good, and my dog is super good. So I'm grateful for that, but also just I'm grateful for the part that he plays in my life and bringing peace to my life, bringing joy to my life, bringing presence to my life. I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. Look, there's something that I'm going to do, which somebody gave me the idea to do today, and maybe in times like this, seasons like this, that it'll help. But I'm going to start, I don't know how to do it, I'm going to start a Knight's Facebook group. You know what these things are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
I don't know
what
what
these
they
things are? My dad can help you. He's like
It's
an
on
expert
the
at it. Yeah.
He's
interweb.
gonna post a Santa video.
On the line.
He's been.
Well,
He's been.
that way, I want to start something so that the Knights family can
great.
communicate with each other.
That's
You know,
good.
I don't know how to do it, but if you're
We'll
hearing
figure it
this,
out.
we're gonna start a Knights group.
I love that idea.
and
That's
everybody
great.
can like be supportive, especially just talking about what episodes blessed you, or if you're learning anything from it, or
Yeah.
if you guys are somehow, because I have a feeling that
I
a
love
lot
that
of you
idea.
are more the same than you are different,
Yeah.
and you're going through the same thing. So it really helps to know that somebody else is going through it with you
Yeah.
at the same time. So we're gonna start that faux show, but we're also gonna drop a podcast. If you're listening to this, we're gonna do a New Year's one to welcome y'all to the New Year's. We're gonna talk about, we're gonna do the, you know, on Instagram they have the 10-year challenge. You look back at yourself 10
Oh
years
my
and you
gosh.
post. So we're gonna look back at our 10-year go self.
Oh, no.
Talk about that person, and then just give a forecast of what we're believing for the next year. So that's gonna be, actually, it's gonna be next week. So when you hear this, next week we'll drop a New Year's Eve one or New Year's Day one, and hopefully it'll bless you too. So we love you guys so much. We're gonna do the benediction on this one.
Got to.
We do pray that you find a seat at the table, but if you don't, you are always welcome at ours. We love you guys. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Ho ho
He's
ho.
been. He's
Ho ho.
Bean. It sounds like bean.
been.